Before we rise to sing our ingathering hymn, welcome by the way, I want to just talk about it for a moment. We don't normally do this, and I'm messing with the order of the service already, but I realized I wanted to get to this. And I'll keep it quick, and the congregation said, good luck with that, Reverend Bob. But our ingathering hymn, We Gather Together, number 349 in the Great Hymnal. It's an ancient tune, the melody, it's like more than 500 years old, but the words were rewritten by two Unitarian Universalist ministers, Dorothy and Bob Sengus, in 1963. And it's always been a Thanksgiving hymn, but in 1963, 5 days before Thanksgiving, President John F. Kennedy was shot. And the country was devastated. And the Sengas knew that the old words, which were really like happy and like absurdly upbeat, those words did not fit anymore. So they changed the words to be honest about the ways that life is both beautiful and hard. The song says, both sorrow and gladness we find now in our living. And I think we can all relate to that in these days. Both sorrow and gladness we find in our living. But the other part of the words that I really love are this paradox, this contradiction in the very last line. It says, when born to human care and hope, then we are free. When bound to human care and hope, then we are free. So they're saying, our freedom, our ability to live, comes from being connected to each other. So there's this inherent, we're freer when we're together. This inherent contradiction. And I was thinking, this afternoon after church, there's a meeting of the Leadership Council, which is made up of the board and the heads of all the committees. And these are the folks who are driving the life of this vibrant and loving church community. And when they come together to do their work, they are binding themselves to human care and human hope. They are binding themselves to care and hope. These words are alive in our South Valley Unitarian Universalist Church community. All right, I invite you to rise and body your spirit and sing number 349 in our great hymnal.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Liz Martin, and as we begin, I ask that you please place your electronic devices in worship mode. Thank you very much. I invite you to enjoy the chapel in the back corner of our sanctuary and to note joys and concerns in the book there. Please feel free to share either of those, a joy or a concern there. Children are always welcome in this sanctuary at all times during the service, but especially today, as we are all worshiping together for this Bread Communion Sunday. However, if you would like someone to help you out with your little ones, we do have a nursery downstairs, We also broadcast the service on closed-circuit TV, which is located downstairs in the social hall near the nursery, if you need to stay down there. After the service, everyone is invited downstairs for coffee and snacks and excellent company. Finally, please note the announcements in your order of service, which include many ways to participate in this vibrant community.
Good morning, I'm Dena Wright, member of the Board of Trustees. In the words Rumi, come, come, whoever you are. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. No matter where you've been, no matter where you're going, you are welcome here. No matter what body brought you into this door, in through this door, no matter who you love, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, or some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. If you come with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands, you are welcome here at South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society.
I invite you to rise in body your spirit to sing our opening song. We're skipping the opening words. You've heard enough of me already. We're going to sing. We're going to use all rise, and we're going to read the lyrics in our hymnal. It's in our order of service. And Rick, you want to play it through once, and then we're going to sing it through 3 times.
To light our chalice.
Please join us in saying our chalice lighting words. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action.
A lot of carbs here today.
I'm going to go totally off script for a second.
All right.
That is not how I've experienced that song in the past at all. So much more like chipper and fast. Do you think we could try it without the piano one time through?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Okay.
And you guys know I don't sing, and so I'm shaking right now, but I'm going to try to lead it. Yes, please. Okay.
All right. You remain seated. We're going to sing it one time through slowly. Make us where we are sanctuary, each train holy and love right through, with thanksgiving
Okay, to the script. So, thinking about sanctuary, one of my colleagues wrote a great story about umbrellas as sanctuary. And I rather liked the story, but more than the story, I just really like umbrellas. Does anyone else like umbrellas? Excellent. So, I have a question for you. Why do you like umbrellas? And why would we use umbrellas as a symbol here at church for sanctuary? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Anybody? Here we go.
They give you shelter.
They do. They give you shelter from sun, rain, all kinds of things. Sun and, okay. Do you like umbrellas, Matt? Got it. Think about it. Is anyone else? Oh, here we go. David's got an idea.
Because umbrellas are a symbol of Mary Poppins and magic stuff happens with umbrellas.
I didn't even think of Mary Poppins. That's so wonderful.
Because umbrellas are easy to share with someone else that needs the shelter too.
Very good. I did not. Nope. So, let's see. So we've got, it provides shelter from sun and storms, and you can share it with someone else. Any other ideas, like why this might be a good symbol? For wind? Yeah. It can also catch the wind and blow inside out, because I've had that happen. Anything else? Oh, here we go.
So I think metaphorically, like if we think that the umbrella protects us from the rain and the sun, the umbrella can also be a symbol of protecting us from all the threats and fearful things and everything that we face in our everyday lives.
Oh. I'm not getting any. Still on? Are we on? Are we on? Whoa. There we go. Okay, say that again. They can know. Whoa. Try speaking. Never mind. Apparently, Rella doesn't get to speak. Is it Rella or Bella? Rella. She said that umbrellas don't change, that they stay the same. You can always trust them. Interesting. Okay.
Umbrellas give portable shelter. You can move them to where you need them.
Right, okay. So they're portable. You can share them. They protect you. They stay the same. I've got a couple more over here.
It's super fun to play with on a windy day.
Super fun to play with.
Did you say that again? Like, speak kind of weirdly into that mic.
That is not what I meant. Okay, in case you missed it, she says you can have umbrella fights with your sister. Not allowed today. Okay? All right. Any last thoughts? Do Mary. Okay. Oh, Anna. Okay. Give us something a little deeper, Anna.
I was just going to say, if you've ever seen Singing in the Rain, that's why I love umbrellas.
Ah, yes. Okay.
It can be used to hide from other people if you need to.
All right, you can deal with that for a minute. Okay. So I think you guys hit all important points that I would have talked about. Umbrellas are portable sanctuaries. They can be shared. The one point here that isn't really like a reason to love umbrellas, but it's something to think about. And that is, sometimes you find yourself fully prepared with your umbrella, and sometimes you find yourself needing an umbrella and not having one. So think in your mind, when is the time that you have had an umbrella, literally, or not, or needed an umbrella?
I'm going to use my big voice. David replaces the battery of that mic. So today we're going to share with each other about the ways that we are an umbrella, a sanctuary to each other, and the ways that we receive sanctuary from each other. So Liz and I are going to role model this really fast, and then we'll give you some time to do this in small groups around the congregation. So when that time comes, you or someone near you will pick up one of these umbrellas that are scattered all over the sanctuary, and then you can gather under the umbrella, not yet though, not yet, and then have a conversation about times where you gave or received sanctuary. And then we'll take turns talking about that. Now, we're not going to take a lot of time for this, so you're going to have to talk fast and get to the point. Now let's demonstrate. So, Liz, why don't you open our umbrella? So, Liz, have you ever offered sanctuary?
Well, I know one time when I was a kid in second grade, I was in a class at school here in Salt Lake where everyone in my entire class was Mormon, just like me, except for one boy. His name was Alaric. One day I noticed that people weren't really playing with him very much. I mean, we brought him Sunday school lessons about
Only playing with people who shared your values. And I think most of the kids were afraid that he didn't share their values because he wasn't the same religion. So one day, as we're walking home from school, people pair off and take off to each other's houses, and I said to Alaric, "Hey Alaric, you want to come over and play in my backyard?" And I have never seen anybody so happy to be invited to do something. So, but I mean, I was like 8, and I wasn't, a great, anyway. So I had him over to my backyard, and we built a fort. And then we made my little brother eat a grasshopper so that he could come in our fort. So I offered some sanctuary, but I also made my brother eat a grasshopper.
Wow. Well, one time when I received sanctuary, I was working in Boston, and I had just gotten laid off from a job that I really loved. And I was devastated, and I was also really scared because I had lost my ability to make money, to pay the rent, to pay the bills, to keep it all together. And I was really worried. And I was sitting in my bedroom in my apartment, and my roommate came in, and he very ceremoniously, he threw his wallet on the bed, and he said, "This is a symbol of the fact that you will be taken care of as long as you need until you get a job." So that was a real sanctuary. So anyways, it was a beautiful moment. So, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get together, we're gonna talk about a time we either received or offered sanctuary, and you get extra points if you talk about a time that happened within this congregation, within this church. So go ahead and grab your umbrellas and group up, and have a chat.
All
You can continue these conversations down at the coffee hall. It sounds like there were some really rich conversations going on. I heard some really beautiful things. Really beautiful. The giving and taking. I'd like to share a reading with you, a poem by the poet Naomi Shihab Nye called Kindness. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment, like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride, thinking the bus will never stop. The passengers eating maize and chicken stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead on the side of a road. You must see how this could be you. How he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it until your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for. It is I you have been looking for." And then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. It is our practice here at South Valley to split our worship service offerings with a cause that aligns with our Unitarian Universalist values. Today we're taking a little break from our normal November-December recipient. Today's offering will be split with the Minister's Samaritan Fund. This is the fund that's used by me to assist South Valley congregants and members of the greater Salt Lake City community when they are in need of rapid assistance with no strings. Today is the only day this season that we'll be sharing the plate with for the Samaritan Fund, so your generosity is appreciated. We'll now take up the congregation. Oh, will you join me in saying the words printed in the order of our service for our offering? We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together we share in the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. Blessings on these gifts and these givers.
So today we join many Unitarian Universalist congregations in taking part in this annual ritual of bread communion in honor of the holiday coming up later this week. Now, when I first heard about tradition, my first question was, why would you call this a communion? Communion's kind of a loaded word. In traditional Christian denominations, communion, or sacrament in the religious tradition I grew up in, is a very important rite. It was tied to one's very salvation for all eternity. Because it was so important, the ritual was restricted on both sides of the equation. who could partake in it, and who could administer that rite. Lucky for us, our Universalist roots rebel against those restrictions and declare we are all worthy, and any authority we might desire comes from within each of us. But beyond reclaiming our rights to something like communion, I think there's another important parallel. In the tradition of my youth, taking the communion or the sacrament was considered a weekly renewal of the covenants and promises that we had made during other once-in-a-lifetime, very important rites and rituals. It was a chance each week to rededicate ourselves to God and our purpose. I think that our bread communion is kind of like that. It's a sort of rededication when we engage in this annual tradition, a rededication to our commitment to strive for beloved community. Because you see, some of us brought bread today, and some of us did not. And no matter what, that's just fine. If we live up to our covenant, everyone who crosses our doors will know that simply by showing up here, they will find nourishment for their journey. Because that's what being a beloved community means. Reverend Bob, I should ask you to rise in body or spirit. And you're invited to join hands if you're comfortable with that. And Reverend Bob will be giving us a blessing for our bread.
Let us join together in prayer. Breaking this bread, we confess our dependence upon, our participation in the world of nature. Breaking this loaf, we confess our dependence upon, our responsibility for the community of life. Breaking this bread, we confess that our lives, physical and spiritual, are nourished, are sustained by the sacrifices of others. Breaking this bread, sharing this loaf, we proclaim that we are one with those who have preceded us in this place, in this tradition, that we in turn shall remain forever a part of this place, in warm communion with all who come after us. Breaking this bread, we vow to be a sanctuary for all that is good, for all that is just, for all that is caring. Let the people say amen. Let the people say amen. Amen. Let the people say amen. Please be seated. You're welcome now to step to the table and help yourself and be fed. You're invited to take home as much bread as you want after the service. Okay, when you're ready, I invite you to rise and by your spirit for our closing song. No singing with your mouth full.
Thank
We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of action, those we hold in our heart until we meet again. We give thanks that we are a living sanctuary for ourselves, for each other, and for the whole world. Our celebration is over, our service begins. Go in peace.